Okay. Gunjan, I can't see you. There you are. Okay, we're live. Hi, Gunjan. Hi, good morning, good afternoon.
Hi Vinod. What's up?
How you been? How you been?
Good. Yes, absolutely fine. How have you
Super.
been?
I'm okay. Doing okay. You're a very happy person. I'm very jealous. I only see you always happy.
Thank you.
You're,
I
you're
hope
the most
this
you're the
and I
most bubbliest person I know.
really
Since college, I've always seen you smiling and laughing and full of energy. So great for you to come and do this. Uh,
I'm
so
happy
this is episode.
uh, making me a part of this. It feels good. It's absolutely I think I would love to share what I'm doing more than anything. It's different.
It is different. It is very different, and I think, guys, when you see and when you hear Gunjan speak about what she's been doing, you'll understand that we have something very different this weekend. So that brings us to episode number 13. I can't believe we've already done 12 episodes before this. This is episode number 13. Surely not an unlucky number at all. We have Gunjan with us, and we are starting episode 13. And thanks for coming on board, Gunjan. Thanks for doing this. What are we going to be
My
talking
pleasure.
about?
So this is something I started 4 years back. It's called Fruitistry. I mean, I've named
Okay.
it Fruitistry. There is no name in the dictionary, but it's an art which I created using fruits and flowers. With my background of graphic designing, as you all know, and Ikebana, which I've done 4 levels from Suggest to School. So it also I stumbled upon this whole thing when I thought of gifting uh, loved ones something more meaningful than just flowers, because
Right,
I
right.
kind of send giving flowers to people, it wilts off, and it's such a wastage, and that is
Right.
when we created this.
So something very personal and only never repeated again. And that would be the best gift to give, isn't it?
Yes, it is basically gifting someone a bouquet of health.
Okay. Okay. How did you start? Something would have, you would have gone through something, you would have stumbled upon something to have said, hey, listen, I want to do something like this. कुछ तो देखा होगा
So
कहीं तो कुछ.
coffee evening, where I had 2, 3 couple friends of mine who apparently are my co-founders with me, because I definitely needed people for a lot of back end work, finance, handling clients, front face, Facebook, I mean, everything. So all these 3 girls who were sitting with me, one of them had
Mhm.
their mother-in-law's anniversary, I mean, parents' anniversary. And she had
Okay.
a bag full of fruits lying, saying, okay, I'm leaving. I
Okay.
need to go to my in-laws' place. So
Mhm.
I told them, I'm sure you're not going to carry them like that. Why don't you put them? So she said,
Right.
okay, just out of that. And just next door, I had some carpenters working. So I went up to the carpenter, got a structure made. And I mean, I'm always into craft and stuff. So I had a lot of craft item where I pulled out my basket and I just did a basic bouquet where I put all those fruits which she was going to take to her in-laws place. And
Okay.
luckily, because I'm into Ikebana, I always have flowers at home. So it was
Okay.
just the flowers and fruits together. And I made my first bouquet for a friend who was just visiting her in-laws. And
Okay.
that is how I stumbled upon this whole idea. And the boys around us were so impressed. And they said, I think you girls should start this. And this is how
Okay.
everything started. That very evening, we did we just sat and made names. And initially, we called it Fruit House and all sorts of things. But in next 2 days, we came across this word fruitistry, where it all derived from artistry plus fruits, and we were with
Okay. Nice.
the name
Nice.
Fruitistry. This is how it came to existence.
Okay. Okay. It's so different from anything we've seen so far. We've seen people arranging flowers and probably vegetables, and the closest to what we've seen as artists from CKP is our life studies, right? Life studies
Yeah.
and still life, where they would keep all these fruits together, fruits or flowers together. It's a culmination of all of those things put in a very artistic way, and it looks photogenic by itself without having any kind of a background. So. Did CKP influence you in some sort?
Oh, obviously. I mean, if you notice, and if you see, if you've seen my bouquets, um, see the flow of colors. How, because when I put fruits together, it was never like any fruit color. I would put it anywhere. It had to
Right,
have some composition, which is either in form of shape or color, which made a very, very
right.
important, played a very important role. And uh, composition, I would say, like, was the main thing. And I think that
Mm-hmm.
played, that is what I have, I would say, uh, where art is
Mm-hmm.
in college, putting figures together. I,
Right.
and set up to do a, so it definitely worked a lot. And even I would say clay, our clay modeling classes helped me a
Clay
lot.
modeling.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Because
So,
many
so
times
the
I
kind of
thought,
okay. Okay. Sorry, I sorry to interrupt, but I was going to ask you. So, who was Fruitistry for? Typically, is it for a certain kind of people, or is it for anybody who's got an occasion, or can is it also for no occasion at all? You just want to decorate your house. Is there a purpose? Who's it for?
because after doing graphic design from CKP, I was immediately married off, and I was a housewife. And I never felt the need to work really, because I come from a conservative Marwadi family. But when I had a 13-year-old daughter, and once I just asked her, "What do you want to be?" And she turned around and tells me, "I want to be you." Where I realized that I'm nothing. I'm just a simple housewife, cooking every day and taking care of. Definitely, being a housewife and a mother is a lot of responsibility, but
It's a
keep
lot. It's a lot.
in mind today's trend, and you want your children to be independent. I wasn't independent, so fruitistry definitely was something I wanted to uh, prove to my children that you know uh, a career is very important. And I really worked hard, not because of anything, but because I wanted to prove to my children that whatever in life you want to do, it should have a direction, and you should be career oriented, and you should be
Right.
independent,
Right.
which I
Right.
proved it to them over the years. I mean, I'm grateful to God. This complete thing really went in the right direction. It was really appreciated, and I was also featured in Bangalore Times within 8 months of existence. So, and I did not, definitely did not pay for it or did not do anything. I was approached by Times of India for
How hard was it, Gunjan? Was it smooth sailing from the get-go, or was it tough? Were you instantly recognized, or were there a lot of pitfalls, a lot of challenges? Obviously, you're a mother, you're a wife, you're looking after those things. And, I really appreciate anybody this is like a double job.
so
There's
it
no degree for this, but it's a
went
double job.
easily because it was so different. And gifting is a very big industry. I mean, corporate
Yes,
gifting,
yes.
all sorts of, especially our weddings, and gifting elders. That is a very big problem. You really don't know what to gift them. They have
What to
everything.
give, what to give.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it wasn't, see, to convey my message, that what my product, or to exhibit my product, wasn't that tough. because it was immediately recognized, yeah, immediately appreciated. But definitely that people had this mindset where uh, they would ask me, how many kgs of fruits do you have in this? And it is just, I see only 1,500 bucks fruit in your basket, but
Oh,
you are selling
okay.
for 2,500. So I came
Right.
across such people where people did not understand the time put into it, the art which
Right.
went into it, the raw material
Yeah.
which went into it.
Yeah.
Because,
End of the day, you're on a sabzi wala. You're
yeah,
taking that stuff and creating an art with it.
exactly. It was obviously a piece of art. It was obviously,
Yeah.
a lot of like Ikebana, where I put flowers. Ikebana played a very important role, and that was a skill. That was not just, placing flowers on a bouquet. It was obviously a skill. How to put the flowers in angle, how to get that, there had to be a perspective. It had to be finished well, and a lot of material, raw material, which was expensive to finish the product. So these
Right.
things really played, was initially questionable by the clients, but yes,
Uh-huh.
I definitely had, that must be just about 15% of my client, but rest 85% definitely appreciated. And even now, I mean, they always come back. Maybe it's their 20th bouquet from me, but they still feel it's different and new, because not a single bouquet can be replicated, really.
Yeah. It's not repeated ever.
Yes, yes. Because the fruits may not be same. The shape of the fruits may
Right.
not be same. Even if I take the same
Yeah.
quantity, the sizes are not
Yeah.
same. The
Yeah.
basket shape changes. So the fruit putting, how I put all those fruits inside, immediately everything changes. You
Yeah,
know,
there's so much to it. The occasion could be different, and your
Abs-
mood at that point of time will be completely different from the last time.
Vinod, as in college, how we were given a palette of colors and a empty canvas, and all of us did the same thing, but everyone's art looked
Yeah.
different. It's exactly the same. It's a
Right.
palette which is given to me. It's a basket of fruits which are given to me, and I create my own, you know, design. That is not a
Yeah.
design. You know, I can't say I can copyright this design,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know copy it. So I'm not
So,
worried.
see, design is always something that it's always been there. It's cognitive. It's always been there in your head. It comes out in a certain way. In a different time, it will probably come out in a very different way, and it mutates. I see something that you do and somebody else does, and then when I do something, it's a culmination of what I've seen from you and from somebody else and what I went through with life, and putting it on a piece of paper, in a photograph, whatever it is. So art can never be repeated. It cannot be copied. You get inspired.
Yes, absolutely. So
Uh, so,
I face this
so
being copied, but I can so distinctively see the difference. The bouquets I've put in together, and someone who's trying to copy the same bouquet with probably the same flowers or something. But it's like having a fake Louis Vuitton. I would put it like that.
I think that's the greatest tribute one can do. If you're getting copied, it means you're doing something right and something really well. And people are copying it. It just means that people are trying to emulate it. So I still would look at it as inspiration. It takes me back to the Apple designer who did the Apple iPhone and the iPad and whatever. The Jonathan Ive, copied the Braun designer, data
When
Rams.
when I saw a copy of mine, I wasn't upset or angry. I felt good. That okay,
Yeah, yeah.
I've created something that people want to copy. Means I'm a trend fall maker, right? So what else would
You're a
you want?
creator. You're
I'm
a
a creator.
creator.
So what
Right,
else
right,
do I want? So
right.
I definitely felt good.
Okay. So how long do you take, Gunjan, to make each of these pieces?
Depends on the size of the bouquet. See,
Okay.
about 5 kg fruits put together in a bouquet would take me about an hour to make the bouquet.
Okay.
Because the process was, of course, cleaning the fruits, because they definitely had some kind of coating, and I would
Right.
definitely
Right.
them. They You clean them, the shine is all. So cleaning, then I would tie, because none of the fruits were pierced. or stuck with anything. I mean, the fruits were not damaged.
Right.
So I
Right.
was very carefully tying them. I had these wires which I used, which are called ribbon wires, and
Okay.
with them I would tie every fruit.
Okay.
And then basket had this structure which I got made out of wood to,
Okay.
you know, the height, and that would
Okay.
be the basket. And then I would start placing the fruits from bottom, and
Okay.
I place it with some kind of newspaper and coconut shreds to
Okay.
give it natural feel, and then start placing the fruits with
Okay.
definitely an angle where I wanted the front of the fruit to be facing us,
Okay.
them to
Okay.
without any
Okay.
gap. That was
Right.
definitely which I
Right.
use, or I would say mm, improvised as I kept making this bouquet. Initially, there were a lot of
Yeah.
gaps, and
Yeah.
I figuring out how to place them together, tying them together, and I had to be very careful of some fruits which were very delicate, like pears. If they're hanging on another fruit, immediately they get spoiled. If they're touching another fruit,
Right.
each of the other fruit they get spoiled. So it
Right.
was a big learning as and when I kept doing bouquets
I
with.
just recently found out. I picked up during lockdown. I picked up fruits. Otherwise, my parents used to pick up fruits, and I just picked up randomly all the fruits I could get. Put everything in a basket. Within 2 days, everything had rotted. I didn't know there's a reason to separate certain fruits. They have a adverse effect on another fruit. I just recently found that out. And while you're saying all of these things, I can imagine the amount of work that goes in cleaning the stuff, getting the right stuff to see it's not spoiled, it's the right texture, it's well formed, and to clean it, and especially if it's a lot of veggies and leafy items where it's a long laborious process, and in the course of doing that, not damaging them, and looking at it from a microscopic view and seeing there's no gaps. That's a lot of effort.
So even picking up fruits was a because I would have these big cartons coming from the wholesaler, the stockist rather, not the wholesaler. And it another very big thing about this work was that I did not ever pick up the fruits from a retailer or a wholesaler. It directly came from the stockist because as it was, if it was three hands down, of course the
Mm-hmm.
fruit life is reduced. So when I pick it
Mm-hmm.
up, the stockist, I know it is
Mm-hmm.
it's been exported or sorry, imported or from whichever part of the country it's just come, and it definitely has more life before it ripes. And I would not use any ripe fruit in the bouquet because I would want the fruits to stay in the bouquet for at least 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And every fruit had different timings. Like a mango can ripe in 3 days to 5 days, whereas chiku also might take, depending on what, which stage I have got the chiku in. But a banana would ripen in like a day and a half. And chiku, if it ripens, it used to shrink. So it would fall off the
Oh
bouquet.
yeah, it's called the wrinkles and all of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Grapes, if they would ripen or if the stem would, dry up, they would start falling off. Lychees, I couldn't put them for like if I've used it in the bouquet today, it had to be removed tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Jam. So every fruit had its own story to, uh, story. Like I had to be very careful. I have to sync all of them in differently. Like a pineapple
Right.
could stay for 20 days and nothing would happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
what props would you get? Would you go around looking for something particular, or are there props already available for these? Because it's something that you started on your own. So when you visualize something, when let's say you get an order, you get a project, you have this vision in your head already saying, okay, these are the fruits and these are the accompaniments and these are the props and accessories that I'm going to use, and then go actively looking for it? Or do you just go into the market and just pick stuff randomly and stock it up saying, okay, kuch aayega to then I'll put all of these things together? What's your process?
So when I got an order, it used to be basic. Uh, Orders were for elders or
Okay.
milestone birthday 21,
Okay.
25, 30,
Okay.
60, 50, 25th anniversary, 50th anniversary, first anniversary, first birthday, baby shower,
Right.
mehndi ceremony, shagun, that is an engagement ceremony. So if it was an engagement ceremony and if it is North Indians, I would
Mm-hmm.
use things. First thing, I did not use too much of gold in my work or anything glittery, because I
Okay.
definitely
Okay.
not believe using all this. Mine, if
Okay.
you see all my bouquets, they have their own natural feel.
Right.
Those ribbons, and they were the least I used. Even if I used jute ribbons.
Mm-hmm.
And max, there were these dull gold ribbons which I would use. I would definitely discourage. I would I had patented a particular thing, that is putting a nest with eggs and birds, because I feel that is a sign of prosperity. It's a sign of
Okay.
together, a family.
Yeah.
So when
Right.
you are gifting, it is going to be someone you love. So
Right.
it is, so if it was a family, if it's a daughter gifting to the parents, I would ask her how many kids are there in the family, how many members are there. Those many numbers of sparrows I would decorate on the bouquet. Or if there are little babies at home, so I would put those many eggs in the nest. I would
Okay.
ask her if another uncle, so I would put two nests. So
Okay.
these were things which I used to signify, the family members.
Okay.
Then I use
And these,
which
sorry,
are
please go on.
lights. So I would use diyas. So if it was Ganesh Chaturthi, I've actually gone and picked up terracotta Ganeshjis and diyas, and I've done it with them, the small
Mm-hmm.
mat, and
Mm-hmm.
fit it up the, dika laddu or something, and give it more aesthetic look,
Okay.
very grounded look, not very
Right.
pretty and glamorous, because I never believed in all that.
Okay. So as far as you know, Gunjan, how many people are doing this?
Um,
Are you aware of other people doing this on a regular basis, like the way you do it, or?
no, see the kind of work I'm doing, um, I don't think anyone really was doing when I started.
Mm-hmm.
Fruit baskets, I think as Shagun, when people who do trousseau packing, they were doing, and
Okay.
putting fruits together, but they would be like put together in a big basket and a ribbon put on one side, or little flowers, artificial flowers put, and it would be flat arrangements. My
Okay.
concept was tall arrangements.
Okay. Okay. So are there, do you exhibit these at times, or have you entered any award shows? Can you speak a little bit about that?
So initially, first 3 months, I definitely did two exhibitions. Of course, it was more of marketing than anything. And there were these, and I definitely target a little affluent society, because I feel, nobody, I mean, kind of figured out that nobody would want to spend on fruits, which $1,000 fruit, and they would give another $1,000 for decoration.
Right.
They
Right.
rather do fruits for 2,000. So I definitely knew it is the affluent segment of our society who would want to, who are more conscious of branding, conscious of decorations and presentation, and so that is what the market I targeted, and definitely
Okay.
started with targeting the ladies. So that is
Okay.
why I participated in one of these Ashok Lalit
Mm-hmm.
exhibitions.
Mm-hmm.
One was there and one was in Taj Vivanta MG Road. Again, that was again another very ladies
Okay.
and free exhibition where I had my stall, because
Mm-hmm.
the 95% of the crowd is ladies.
Okay.
And
So,
then with a lot of wedding houses, I had a
mhm.
wedding. I had to very, very big wedding houses who are my uh, regular clients, and through
Uh-huh.
them, through the exhibition, I had even the Kannada film industry. I think so many of them, all their
Okay.
facilitations, all their festivals, or if they're visiting their friends, I've done them, and then everything. Of course, I've told them what else I can do. Like if they've asked me, with the bouquet, can you buy me a wine? We won't get time to buy it. I said, I will fix the wine into the bouquet, or
Okay.
I'm going to send a box of cupcake. Just send it along
Right.
with this a friend's place. So I sent my decorations with the bouquet, and that's how I
Okay.
have, worked.
Okay. So when clients come asking, Gunjan, are they very specific about a certain size or certain fruits, uh, or is it all left to you, or is it a kind of a co-creation where they need certain fruits and certain colors in it?
So how it works is mainly people come with a budget. I always tell
Okay.
them I can work around budget, I can work around your occasion, I can work around your theme, I can work around colors. So, I would always tell them these. Most of the time, people would have budget issues and they would ask me, what range did you start in? So, initially, when I started, we started with a 2000 range. But the
Okay.
most popular was the 3000, which was which had about 5 kgs of fruits. 2000 would have about 5 kgs, but I would say uh, was not that great. I was not able to put flowers, um, enough flowers, or do justice to a bouquet. A
Right.
3000
Right.
bouquet probably had a little more, at least 30% more fruits. But I had the liberty to work around with flowers and doing it up in much, to my heart's content. I knew that it is looking beautiful.
Okay.
And
So,
definitely had a segment which did not care about anything. They just said it has to be beautiful. And
okay.
they would just say, give us a basic budget. I would ask them that how much amount of fruits do you want? So some people
Yeah.
would say week supply, or
Okay.
you know, about 11 kgs of fruits, or
Okay.
okay, why don't you put me 5 varieties of fruits, maybe one kg.
Okay.
So everybody was different. There were
Okay.
times when they told me such fruits I wouldn't want to put them because they're not very good looking fruits.
Okay.
Like this, it's an exotic fruit, but such an ugly fruit. So I would have to explain them that I can hide it behind fruits, but I'm not going to put them. It may
Okay.
be very exotic, but I don't find it exotic in my bouquet.
So speaking of exotic, have you ever found any challenge of getting a particular fruit or a vegetable, or any prop that you wanted, and you did everything just to get that? Did you face? I'm sure you'd have faced something like that.
Be clear that what is not available, I'm not going to give you because I was very, very quality conscious, super
Okay.
quality. I wanted the food to be, edible, and people should feel I've given them, with given them the best of. First thing,
Oh, so what you're saying is after is it's gifted to somebody, you can actually consume it. I thought it was just a showpiece.
no, no. So that's
Okay.
exactly what I told you. That the whole idea of coming up with this idea of fruitistry and fruit bouquets was that with when you give a flower bouquet, it may stay for a week, but after a week, it's gone. It wilts off.
Right.
Whereas,
Right.
so the wastage is so high. Whereas in a fruit basket, everything could be pulled out. Nothing is pierced, so
Right.
nothing is contaminated. So all the
Okay.
fruits is pulled out maximum. Like if I would consider the basket and the flowers, the everything, whatever I put in, there was hardly 5 to 7% wastage.
Okay. Okay.
That was my
So
idea. That I
okay.
don't
So
waste it. If you're sending a gift to another person, the person uses everything, entirely everything. That's why I even discourage people to order fresh flower bouquets and order artificial flowers so that
okay.
people can use the artificial flowers.
Okay. Okay. So when you finish a project and it's and you feel it's come out the way you wanted, who's your best critic? Is it yourself? Is it your children? Who sees it first and says, okay, this has come out okay?
So I definitely, we were four of us, and two of them were back end, so they were generally not there. So a
Okay.
friend of mine called Kiran, she has no background of art. She is a commerce
Okay.
student. She
Okay.
was right there, and even in fact, every 25% done, I would turn around and say, "Hey, look, 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 is it okay?" And
Yeah.
she would think you're the best. But say, "No, please, please tell me if everything is
Okay.
coming good." So she was definitely one. And my son, because
Okay.
he, right from my clothes to my hairstyle to my makeup, he's always been critical about how I do what. And he
Okay.
generally, the time when I was finishing bouquets of my orders, it was the
Hmm.
time he was coming back from school. So he would make sure he comes to my workshop and
Okay.
he would look at all of them, and he would definitely pinpoint, "Mom, this is like really nice. And this one is,
Okay.
oh, this looks like the one
Yeah.
you made that day." So I always knew,
Okay.
coming from him,
Yeah.
it's the truth. Nobody's flattering me. He's up upfront and upright, telling me, "Mom, this is really good." In fact, any picture of putting, I would put on Facebook. He would tell me, put it before I could even ask him. "This bouquets come out so good, Mom. Take good pictures and put this."
Okay.
So I
Okay.
would say him.
So he's your critic number one.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Okay. So my last question to you is uh, how do you find the time to divide being a doting wife, uh, a mother, and doing this? Do you do this in segments, or do you do it in one shot where the cleaning and stripping off all of its whatever stickers, all of that is done. Then it's just about putting it together, or all of that happens in one flow, like most artists do. I don't know. Artists are different. Some people like to touch a little bit and then come back to it.
First, I'll tell you how it works. It's a perishable good which I was handling. So I did not have time.
Time.
I fruits which the bouquet was I have to make a bouquet today. First thing, I never took an order on the same day. It had to be placed to
Okay.
24 hours in advance because the fruits were not purchased from a retailer, but it came from the stockist.
Okay.
So I had to take an order 24 hours in advance. And
Okay.
being a perishable item, if I started working on it, I had to finish it at one go.
Okay.
The whole day was spread like morning. I would finish my cooking, I finish my house errands, and I obviously did not. I had specific times when I would do deliveries of bouquet. Some people wanted it like I would never do bouquet deliveries in the morning.
Uh-huh.
Unless I'm really, pestered, then I would tell them the bouquet is going to be made. It's one day old. I'm going to make it to
Right.
previous day evening, and tomorrow I'm going to send it. So if they were okay with
Okay.
that, fine. Otherwise, morning there were no deliveries, fresh bouquet deliveries. I would only come to the office by 9:30, 10 when
Uh-huh.
after left to office, and I finished my house errands. And till, of course, the delivery would start. The first delivery would start rather by 12:31,
Mhm.
and
How
after
heavy are these? How heavy are these with all the props and fruits and vegetables and accessories put together? How heavy can they be?
this
Starting.
to start with would be 4 kg, and I've
Okay.
made bouquets which have been above 30 kgs.
Wow. How
And
do
I've
you?
even pieces for Mehendi functions, for Ganesh Chaturthi function, and but I never went on site. It was all done in my workshop, and I would send it across.
That's a lot of weight.
Yes. So, but yeah, a big bouquet. If somebody would say I want a big bouquet, would be about 10, 11 kgs, the big one.
Okay.
And can be handled also, because you don't want to make something big. Can be, as I said, 25, 30 kgs, but it's difficult to handle. So a big
Yeah.
one which we can of course also handle was about 10, 11 kgs. And yeah,
Okay.
so next call. these big bouquets would take about 2 hours if I had an order, 2.5 hours. My next
Okay.
deliveries in the evening, so I would take a half an hour lunch break and come back and work, and then the next deliveries would start around 4. And 5:30, my kids came back from school. So after 5:30, I would leave it to friends to either send for deliveries, and ideally I would be home by 6:30. But there were
Okay.
days I worked day and night when I've got corporate orders for 100 bouquets 2 days. So I have worked, I think I've just slept for an hour or something. All of us, all four of us have just slept for an hour. And
If you had to stop this, would you miss it?
I will definitely. It's like venting out. I definitely missed my art, which I stopped, and
Okay.
I definitely miss CKP days. So I don't think I was so much in class, but I, I definitely miss the part where I could express myself, and this is
Right.
definitely my passions. I definitely see I'm much happier, and I feel more worthwhile. I feel good about myself. And after creating every bouquet, I've done more than 2.5, 3,000 bouquets by now, or maybe more. I mean, that's the count last. After that, I don't know, lost count. But every bouquet gave me a different level of satisfaction,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I
I
definitely
think
slept well.
let's come a full circle now, Gunjan. Your 13-year-old daughter is telling you something, and that kida went into your head, and like, God, I got to do something and prove to my own child that, this is something that you can attempt and do and be really good at it. Now, let's come a full circle. Now you're doing it so well. What's next? Would you want to take courses? Would you want to teach people how to do this?
So I, in this 4 years, I've got, I think, millions of calls saying, "Do you take classes?" I have not had time, and giving class means responsibility, means you have to be
Yeah.
very diligent, very uh, sorted, and you need to know, to teach stepwise, because it's a
Right.
self art.
Yes.
I
Yes.
haven't worked with it, and I don't want to half-heartedly do this, but I would
Right.
love to teach people, and I would love to. Uh, I mean, I feel people just giving fruits in a packet. I feel people should not do that and put it
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you know, make it uh, make it look beautiful. Because
Yeah, yeah.
fruit,
What the hell? I mean, it is kind giving fruits to somebody. I get that, but then to make somebody really feel special, that's another way of doing this, and that stays with you. People might forget that, okay, somebody came, visited me, gave me fruits, but when you give it in a certain way, that lasts forever. So what you're creating now is a memory that's going to last for a very, very long time, and I think that's important. People don't understand the value of that. The some of them who approach you and said, "Hey, itna kg ka hai, aap itna charge kar rahe ho." It's such a wrong notion of looking at it. It happens to the best of us.
I was
If
definitely
Picasso was asked by a woman in the garden, and she saw Picasso, and she said, "Oh, you're the great artist. Can you do a sketch?" He's like, "No, please don't bother me. I'm just chilling out here." I'm just breaking it down in a very slangish way, but this is what he said. He said, "I just want to be by myself." But then she pursued him to sketch and whatever. He just randomly drew something and gave it to her. He was done with that. But then she wanted to now pay him for it, just to stop her from stop bothering. He said an insane amount, and then she said, "What the hell? You just scribbled something for 5 minutes, and you're asking for so much." And I think he gave a very amazing reply. He said, "Ma'am, it's 5 minutes plus 30 years of my experience, or 40 years of experience. So it's all of that culminating into that 5 minutes. So it's truly an art piece, isn't it? When you give something like this, it's not just fruits and vegetables. It's an emotion put in a frame."
totally, because when I make these bouquets, I know um the feeling which goes into it. So
Yeah.
the thoughts which are going into it, the
Yeah.
um, I have come across the, I mean, it is true, when you're not in a good mood, you cannot create anything good,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
has happened to me when there are days I'm upset, whatever, or I'm not well, and the bouquet did not turn out good. I feel terrible because I have to send the bouquet. And I realized
Yeah.
that, oh my God, what have I done? Because It may look good to someone, I mean, as someone receiving as a birthday gift, they would like it. But I know that I have not given my 100%. And then I can see, how much of me goes into it.
Right. And let's say something comes out, not let's say, it's obviously coming out really well. Something comes out so well. Do you feel not want to part with it? Is that happened?
It's happened. It's happened. And that's
Have you
when,
cheated? Have you kept it to yourself, not giving it away? Have you done that?
no, I couldn't do that because of all orders.
Okay.
But
Probably you
definitely,
quickly made another one and kept the good one.
it's not that easy to quickly make something. And
I'm just saying.
you just can't. Sometimes, no, in bouquets, I just couldn't replicate. It was very,
Right.
very, very difficult. I couldn't
Right.
replicate at all. It was so. I've captured all those beautiful ones, which I just felt I can't part with in pictures. And there was a time I was pursuing photography with Mr. Anand Sharan. So I made use of all those skills to capture them and keep them with me. And they still are there all over my phone, especially the ones I liked, always in handy.
Okay. So you have all of these lovely, lovely creations captured, and I'm hoping you share with us. I've seen some of them. I'm sure there's a lot more to it. Please do share, and uh, I would like to come home sometime, come to your workshop. There's something about an artist's workshop, which is why I specifically asked for Shilpa to showcase her workshop, and I wanted to go visit there probably once the lockdown is over. It's nice to go over and see. You've heard of the artist mentality and how he or she pursues the stuff, but also you get inspired and you're in awe of when you get into an artist studio. Something about it, the vibration, call it whatever you want to call. Uh, I'm hoping to visit you sometime soon and see you at your work and probably get more inspired.
A little thing here with you. When I first 1.5 months, I actually did it from my kitchen.
Oh, okay, okay.
And the first 60 bouquets or 70 bouquets I did from my kitchen. And my dining table was where I was sitting and doing it, cleaning in my kitchen. And then
So
finally
your
I got,
house, your entire house basically turned into your studio.
yes. So, and then, okay, finally I got myself a place. It was just a 200 square feet of a place where I had a dining table. It looked like a kitchen because there was a dining table with 4 chairs, and the other side I had a counter just like the kitchen. I
Okay,
with storage. It was a kitchen which I got fixed there,
okay,
and because that's all I needed, all my tools, all so I needed drawers, and there was a spare kitchen, a modular kitchen lying in my storeroom, which I got it fixed there, and so that's how my studio looked, but very colorful because it was full of flowers
I can imagine. Yeah, yeah.
and birds, variety of birds, small, chota, bada, sab, nests, and a lot of eatables. I'm very fond of food, so always and mind it, I wouldn't eat fruits.
Are you
And I
munching and
no, I don't eat fruits. I don't like fruits. I'm not at all a
oh,
fruit person. So anybody coming into my studio, they would be like so lucky. You have fruits all the time. I
yeah,
said
I was
yes,
thinking that.
and
Oh,
you believe I would count and keep fruit because whoever visiting me would say, "Can I pick that apple? Can I have one? Can I have okay, can I take this chicken? This looks so nice." And I would say,
obviously, when you cleaned it up and done whatever to it, it looks so inviting.
so I would be like, it's counted. And there were times, one plum is missing. And I would be like, hello, you can't touch my fruit. So then I started calling for extra food because for the visitors who came to my office and for them to be,
Acha,
clean them and kept to the side and said, okay, you can take from there. So
okay,
yes,
nice.
that's how I think my house fruit supply came from my store because there were leftovers. So we always luckily the best.
Did the
That's
lockdown affect you in any ways in getting your sources for all these fruits and veggies?
I need to
The lockdown, did it play a spoil spurt in you
no,
going out and getting the vegetables and fruits?
No, it was not just the lockdown affecting the sourcing of fruits. Even the deliveries got very difficult because it was all about touch. And this was, I was getting from the stockist, then I would clean it, and then I would give it to a delivery guy. I don't know where he would keep it. And then reaching the fourth person. So, at least four hands down.
Right.
5 months, totally closed because I did not want to take a chance with this Fruitistry, and it's an edible thing.
Yeah.
It's not just a decorative piece that you could spray, disinfect, and just put it in your house. It is an edible. I definitely
Yeah.
stopped it. Even I was enjoying a holiday for a change.
I know. I mean, is it
It,
better now?
yes, it is picked up. I get a lot of calls. They definitely have a lot of queries about safety part and the hygiene part. But it's fine because the gifting industry and the health industry and the fruits and
It's
in
not going to
fact
go away.
so much falling ill so much. I think
Yeah.
it's gone up.
Okay. Great.
That's the best.
So I know. I mean, there's so much to it. Yeah. I mean, it's just like with. I mean, how much would you talk about a flower? And if you look at uh, Hemant's episode, you have a whole new respect for the way you look at any flower after that. I thought, what is a silly lily? And it's a lily, end of the day. And I couldn't even tell a difference between a lotus or a lily. But I learned so much about flowers in general. But now I look at flowers in a very different way. I'm now going to look at fruits in a very different way. I think all of us have a little bit of that click inside of that, a little bit of artistic sense. Probably we would want to arrange it in our own ways and look at it in a different way. But I think this is a very different thing that you're doing, and I wish you never stop. And I hope it gets better and bigger. And I truly hope that you pass on this knowledge to more people. I think that's one of the best ways to make this more popular. And so people, even if they're copying or getting inspired, they're getting inspired in the right way. There's a right way to do everything. And all of us learn from each other. And I think that's something that we're going to learn from you, Gunjan, today. So this was an amazing eye opener for me. This episode, I learned a lot about the art of putting things together. An emotion in a basket, if I could call it. Kudos to
I
you to
definitely
have
feel
done this.
CKP gave me a lot of perspective on this.
Yeah.
Maybe the right things to create this.
Yeah.
What I have in CKP.
Yeah.
In fact, I think a lot of people amongst us have different kind of creativity. Like,
Yes.
you recognize this and you made me a part of your show. I feel amongst us, we have so many more people who have so many styles. Maybe painting, it all differs how you put some, and I would really ask them that they should come up and talk about it and tell us, because it's not just about uh, showing what you've done, but sometimes how you do it and what makes you do it. And we all got same education, but how all of us think differently is so important for to express yourself and make us realize that we all are such great and special individuals.
Yeah. I think there's so many stories to say. There's so many more people that I think silently are doing. The shy ones, please come out and showcase. I think, huh?
They
Sorry?
should. Yes.
Yeah. And I urge you all, and I think we can all learn a lot more from each other, and that's the only reason this was started. And I urge you all to come and showcase whatever that you're doing. With that, I would want to, you know, I'm running short of words. So Gunjan, this is episode 13. Thanks for coming on board. My thought is elsewhere because I'm still affected by this COVID and things. I've been hearing a lot of these news. And last week when I did the thing with Nasraba, I think SPB passed away. That's really hitting me still hard. So many, just now before the call, I got some more news about some more people in my circle. So but life goes on. COVID happens, COVID aayega, jayega, but then we are creators, we continue creating and inspiring people. That's what we do. And I really thank you for doing this, and hope to see you soon in person, see your studio and appreciate it in person.
Thank you so much, Vinod. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gunjan. See you over the weekend, and do share your links, do share your pictures, and website and your social media accounts.
I will do that. Yes.
Chalo, see ya. Bye.